Alright guys, the latest update. I'm currently running a 1.3 to 1. My new math allows me to rub sub 1 to 1, but I noticed when the lower I go, I'll actually throw a check engine light for low boost. And I'm also getting some crazy skim key error. I don't know if they're related or if my key fob's going out and it's giving me that error. But if you go too low on a common rail, you will get a low boost light. Well, low boost check engine light. So you got my engine RPMs, exhaust pressure, temperature, turbo pressure. These are my 150-pound Honeywell 60-pound odometer, and then I got my absolute gauge, which is the factory gauge. This is going to closer get to 30 pounds because I have a boost fooler. That's going to be more incorrect, but it's pretty correct once you're low. Intake air temperature, exhaust temperature, miles per hour, and throttle position, as well as gear. Previous videos show it working. I actually had a different algorithm that I came up with for this video. It's definitely working a whole lot better. Before, the way I was generating the movement, the math just wasn't adding up the way I expected it would, but this is pretty spot on. If you look at my previous videos too, I actually had a lot more heat. New algorithm actually helps keep my heat down. Oops. I also had a lot more smoke with my the previous videos I was making. Controls basically over time. So when you get on it, you want the exhaust housing to be a little tight, and that allows you to spool the turbo. And as the turbo starts building pressure, it's going to look at the intake and exhaust over a small amount of time, and then based on where the position is, if the exhaust is higher than that 1.3 to 1, or if it's lower than that 1.3 to 1, then it's going to retract in or push out. If you had it try to be ahead of itself, then what could potentially happen is, as you're trying to build pressure, it's going to continuously open the turbo, and then you'll just never build pressure. Still have a couple of functions I disabled on this one. Excuse me. I was running into an issue last night when I was really getting on it, and I was making 30 pounds or so of boost pressure. The controller was kind of resetting itself and dropping back down to the starting position. So I disabled the resets just so I can experiment today and see what's going on. And basically by disabling it, it's preventing the controller from retracting all the way back up. If you have that boost exhaust ratio, it's going to increase and decrease. But the problem is, as the numbers drop down, like when you're slowing down or if you have a manual pushing the clutch, then that value is no longer there for the controller to adjust, and the goal is to have the controller reset itself and start over again. Same thing happens when the goal was when you hit the exhaust brake or the engine warm-up feature kicks on, whatever it may be, then it's going to reset itself so it starts over, and that basically ensures that you have all the spool up that you can get. Like I said, I disabled it, so I was just coming up that hill when I lost my pressure and tried to accelerate again. The exhaust housing stayed open, and that prevented the turbo from spooling and gave me increased heat. So if you look back probably about a minute or so ago, I noticed that. But like I said, that's all worked out. I just disabled the features for this morning. I'll make another video here hopefully tonight, and I'm going to set it to a 1-to-1 ratio. That's what I had it on last night, but I just wanted to have a little bit more drive pressure. Like I said, I was getting a check engine light, but that was also with the old logic. It wasn't with the logic I had designed last night. So let me know what you think. If any of you guys are in Colorado, you're more than free to hit me up. I live in the Springs, so if you actually want to come out and see what it does and actually see it before you make a purchase, I'm totally cool with that. I'll drive you around, go up the mountain, whatever you want to do. If you have any big companies out there, like I said, I'm constantly refining it. If you guys want to experiment with the set or whatever, I have no problem letting someone experiment or even looking at sponsoring a truck. I do believe these will work great with compounds. I have a compound that I'm going to basically build on this truck, and I'm using a GT 4502 it came from South Korea. It's actually the biggest VNT I can find, made by Garrett. So if it works out, I'll actually run compound BGTs and a VNT out of it. And the cool thing about trying to do like that, you can have a 1-to-1 ratio or maybe a little higher on the high pressure, and then on the secondary turbo, because you're not going to build as much pressure and you still need to get velocity out, and then you can run, maybe a 0.7 or 0.8 to 1 exhaust to boost ratio on the secondary unit. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully this summer, I'm planning on rebuilding this motor, getting new injectors, getting a new CP3, and then as the engine's out, then I'm going to do the compound set it and drop back in. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks.